once again, I'm experiencing a few important points, downloads today, and I need to talk about them. So, first of all, I'm shocked about the news of Eric Dane's death after James Van Der Beek. So, apparently we've been having many deaths within the past week. And of course, that also raises thoughts and emotions in an empath soul like myself, because of course, obviously my heart goes out to good people, kind people who die, and they're on the news because they're famous. And of course, their families are grieving, so bless them. And then also a few other topics regarding dating as an old soul, empath, earth angel, a chosen one of God, a starseed soul, because dating can be very difficult, especially when you've already been through a lot of abuse, narcissistic abuse in your relationships since childhood. Dating can really be traumatizing and a challenge. And last night I found about this topic, this news. There was actually a movie about Monica White dating this Anthony Robinson, and her discovering that he was a serial killer. So again, a reminder that we never know what's behind there. So, of course, we want to be careful when, like, for example, if you are trying to date after a toxic narcissistic relationship, you want to come from peace, not from anxiety, and you want to be fixing and healing the relationship with yourself. For example, in Monica's case, apparently she was able to defend herself very soon, as the red flags were shown. So she did not lose her life, but those unfortunate poor women who did, again, they have been too trusting. They have let close a serial killer. So we have to be aware, seriously. Because again, we never know who is behind a dating profile in an app or on a site. We never know. There are so many kinds of people out there, and especially when we're sensitive and kind and intuitive, we should trust our intuition and, of course, also pray about these things. Yes, of course. Put God first, of course. Yes, you want to do that. But also, you need to trust yourself, trust your own judgment, discernment about who and what is healthy for you and who and what is not. And again, those who are on and off people, push and pull people, those were never meant to stay in our lives. And when they fall out of our lives, then, that is meant to be. It is just so. And clearly, this man was showing his red flags very clearly to this woman when he was moving very fast with her. And that is, of course, again, a typical narcissistic trait, that they move very quickly. They want to make babies, for example, quickly. They want to get married quickly, and then they dump you before you know it. When they have new supplies, for example, they have attention from other people behind your back. So this is the typical pattern with these people if we even try to date them. So obviously it's very toxic, and as it seems to be very common in dating apps, it's better to watch your back and just, be careful. Because dating for us old souls, when we're sensitive and we're trauma survivors, we've been trauma victims, we've been physically attacked likely harassed and bullied. So these are such heavy issues that of course they create a difference in what you should be accepting in your life anyway, and who understands you. So how can you ever keep any people in your life who do not even make the effort to understand your situation and where you are coming from? Also, what's coming to me right now is typical empath problems, that people expect you to save them, people expect you to just be there for them, to support them, to be the kind helper, but then they do not give those things to you. And then also what's coming to me is the fact that when there is power in the wrong hands. So, as we have witnessed as narcissistic abuse victims all our lives, there have been power in people who should not have that power. It would be a huge difference if you would have been born into a healthy family. But instead, you were born into this dysfunctional, toxic family setting, environment, toxic family environment, toxic home, with toxic family members who have been hurting you, they have been destroying you. Yelling is also attacking another being. And these are serious matters. And so these issues should not be taken lightly. And I don't like it when I see enabling happening, whether it is with the system, narcissistic authorities, whoever it is that is being narcissistic. They are misusing their power and control. They want all the power and control, and it's no wonder when they have been given too much power and control in their position, in their profession. It's always like they look down on you. If you seek help from them, you make a phone call to ask for help or advice or guidance from somebody, and they start to treat you like you are below them. And so this is why we have to be aware of them when we are the family scapegoats. As adults, we have to start being aware of these patterns so that we can avoid them better, so that we can set our better standards, our healthier boundaries. Stay away from those wrong kinds of people. We can have so many empath problems, apparently, because, people just love to dump their trauma, all their problems on us, thinking that we can just magically, just like that, heal them and their lives. Which, obviously, like I've been saying lately even, is never possible. It is just not possible by another human being. Maybe God can do that. God is impossible. So nothing is impossible for God, as they say. And I firmly believe that as well. So yes, if you are having those kinds of heavy issues, my number one tip is to just pray and have faith. Seriously, just give it to God. Let God fight your battles. That is the healthiest thing that you can do. But of course, depending on the situation again, what you're up against, we can have so many types of enemies, apparently, that we cannot even count. And because they can be anyone, anywhere. It's not just about narcissistic romantic relationships or narcissistic family members alone. It can be, other people as well. So, because we do not deserve or want things to get out. So we do not want or deserve to let things get out of hand. So this is where self-protection also obviously comes to play. That you need to protect your peace no matter what. It is sometimes difficult. It's a learning practice. It's a daily practice. Like anything, when we start to practice something new, we start to learn something new. It's always a practice, and it should happen daily, or many times in a week, for example, so that we can comprehend it and learn it. And of course, the more you've been through lots of trauma, you can feel and be very blocked. Your brain is basically blocked from learning and receiving new things. And so again, we can come to this truth and conclusion that in order to protect our lives, our health, our mental health, our sanity, our physical health, our lives, our home, our children, what matters to us, because we have to do that against these sorts of people, our enemies, because they are takers, they are boundary violators. And I've seen so much cyberbullying, for example, for years now. I have seen so many people who do not respect you or your home as a sensitive person. They have no empathy, no decency when they come to your home. They can yell at you in your own home, for example. Things like that. So we are dealing with heavy issues. And of course, I wish that I would be just talking about something light and like making jokes here in my videos, but I have to bring out these serious topics because this is real life. This is the reality. There are people dying, there is narcissistic abuse, there is bullying, there is sexual harassment, things like that. So we should not be hiding our eyes ourselves away from these things. We have to face them, and we have to make peace as much as possible, as soon as possible. So creating your daily life so that you can handle whatever comes your way. And of course, also pray for protection, of course. But again, because we cannot control people, we cannot always know who is around the corner, behind the corner, coming to attack us, for example. We have to be embracing our own inner peace and ourselves even more for that reason. So of course it helps the more you have been practicing your healthy mindset, your boundaries, your standards. When you are up against these serious heavy issues, difficult situations, people attacking you from left and right, for example, and you don't understand what's going on, you don't understand the system that is so cold, the society can be so cold and cruel and narcissistic, very controlling, very manipulative. So no matter if somebody, whether it is a doctor or whoever it is, does not validate your experience of being bullied, harassed, abused, stalked, whatever, a police officer, I don't care who it is, you don't deserve to be treated like that. It is not okay that you are vulnerable, you're hurt, you're afraid, you're feeling insecure, you've been basically put into the corner, you don't know what to do, you're already crying alone, feeling desperate and hopeless, afraid, fearful, wondering when is the next attack coming. Because, you have been taught that the world is unsafe since childhood, when you have had narcissistic parents. And so this is why you need to be more on your own side. Still, that you're able to help yourself, because that's what you need to do. First and foremost is that, you need peace, you need nervous system regulation again, and you have to remember your own value and worth, because those people, they will push you around, they will boss you around if they can, They will spread lies about you, gossip, smear campaign, write documents as if they are the truth, when in fact they are the lie. So in order to remain sane and healthy in your own power, you need to be able to come back to your peace, to your peaceful state of mind. And of course, I know from my own painful experiences that these things are definitely not easy. They are no piece of cake, especially if you're being attacked all the time, whether it is verbal or physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, doesn't matter, it's serious. And it is hurtful when you have already been hurt. You are already a trauma victim, a trauma survivor. So I cannot even find a word to describe that pain. But I'm just saying that, of course, I understand everyone you guys who are my soul people. I get you. I know where you're coming from. And again, it can be very scary, of course, if you're still being invalidated, dismissed, brainwashed, manipulated, gaslighted by narcissistic people. And of course, especially if they are authorities and they think that they are just entitled to spread lies about you. And they usually do it behind your back anyway, so there's no honesty, there's no transparency, there's clearly no respect, there is no authenticity in that, how they operate. So it's important to address these issues because they will not communicate with you. So you have to address, if you're going through this, you have to address it with yourself or with someone who you can trust. And again, of course, we have to remember that we have to allow people to perceive us how they perceive us. We have zero control over that, and we should not be trying to control those things. Yes, we can always manifest healthier interactions, healthier people, our soul people to manifest into our lives and true love, for example. Yes, we have that power from God to manifest things, to create and attract things. Like, we're always manifesting. So it's purely science. Of course, yes, but at the same time, we cannot ultimately control other people. So they will choose their actions, and we have to choose our own. So yeah, if you're going through these serious issues and you need more help and support, I do advise you to buy my self-help book and implement it in your life. I've gathered simple tools, advice and guidance within it, how to start helping yourself to have that peace of mind. Of course, I also have my free self-care checklist available and my Boundaries Bootcamp guide, which is only €8. And you find all my services if you go to my link tree, and everything's always, of course, below my YouTube videos. So, you're not alone, and, I can help you with my book, and of course, also in my sessions if you decide to apply to work with me, so I can help you one-on-one. And also, I think it's very healing when you can just release all of that toxic energy that you have been absorbing from other people ever since childhood. That's it. That is also a typical empath problem, that you are absorbing other people's issues, and then you're left alone wondering, why am I so drained? Why am I so tired? Why am I so anxious? I'm depressed, etc. Feeling all kinds of negative emotions. Well, it's a clear sign that your soul can be very tired and drained. First of all, you're not connected with your higher self, with your true self, with your own essence of peace and love and joy and safety, that, you know, things are off and, you know, they're just showing up. So you want to lean on to healthy options. You don't want to self-sabotage and, for example, like drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes or weed or other kinds of substances. I do not recommend those. I'm only about a healthy lifestyle. So if you work with me, we will be amplifying your healthy lifestyle choices that are also according to your own core values, of course. But, you know, that is just, you know, what I also learned the hard way, because I used to drink a lot and, you know, I never smoked. But I used to drink, and so I just know how difficult it can also be. And so let people think what they think of you. We always need to be letting go of that, you know, just detach, just let them think, let them do what they want. They will show you with their actions if they really care about you or not. And you're not supposed to be chasing after their validation or attention or anything. You're supposed to be standing on your own 2 feet. And be proud of your feet. Be proud of, you know, be grateful about the fact that you can walk, you know, you have a functioning body, functioning feet. You know, you can talk and breathe and do creative things, and, you know, be focusing on more empowering, positive things. And then also what's coming to me is that, you know, when people are mishandling us and being abusive, being toxic, things like that, and we can easily wonder why they're doing that, because it's very difficult for us to understand those kinds of people. So, of course, you know, first of all, that is a healthy thought and a feeling and emotion to have, that you're actually a good person with integrity, that you don't go around, you know, treating people the same. And also, if you're wondering, like, why is this happening? Why are they treating me this way? A huge factor in this is that they are just used to behaving like that. Like I said, there's power in the wrong hands. And of course, the sooner you detach and remove yourself, they lose power over you.